Alright y'all, this is my current setup. I'm going to try to be reviewing from my bed. This is the top of my bed, not my desk. We'll see how this works out. I don't know how I like this setup. This is literally the top of my bed and I'm currently on my knees. So we'll see how this setup works out for this. But y'all, I'm so freaking proud. I'm so proud for this month, for the month of July. I think I was able to try 9 palettes. That is a huge jump from last month. If you don't know, I've kind of been in a funk. I've moved, I've had some family problems, like I kind of just not been excited about makeup for a really long time. But in that last video, if you watched it, like I said, I think it was the MBA Cosmetics and the Give Me Glow palette that just really kind of like sparked my love for makeup again. Because for a while I was just not wearing makeup, like I wasn't even thinking about it. And I kind of want to start jumping back in, but I've been slowly taking my time, and this month I feel like I really blew it out of the water. We'll see how August goes, but let's start. I have so much to review. There's so much stuff here. But I'm going to go by the order of when I tried something. So we're going to start off with this Kimchi Chic BFF Forever collab MVP palette, MVPalette. Let's start off with this one. Here we have our Kimchi Chic / TRIXIE Mattel collab. I was able to find this at Ross for $7. That is a crazy, crazy steal. But I also realized, because I looked at it once I did buy it, MVPalette 01 Superstar, this palette came out almost 4 years ago. But I feel like my feelings about this palette are pretty much the same as to when it came out. I'm so happy with their collab. I know they're kind of like OG besties, like they began their drag together in Wisconsin, but I think the reason that you can still find this is because there is a glitter formula in here, and I don't think a lot of people are into the glitters. So I don't know how well this palette really like sold, but I think overall, is there anything in here? The usual yellow kind of lining in there. It moves, their faces, it's lenticular. That's really cool. Like I said, I'm glad they did this together. I like how colorful the packaging is. The mirror in here broke at some point. I know I dropped it, but I didn't even realize I had broken the mirror, so that's very unfortunate. That freaking sucks. But I never take the film off of my mirrors, and that's, I think, what really fucking saved this palette, or else I don't know what I would do. Because there would have been glass all over all the colors. But it's safe for now, and here is our color story. I'm going to assume that the left side is TRIXIE and the right side is KIMCHI. KIMCHI really likes her kind of bright pastel-y colors. And then we have this whole middle row with glitter. And I feel like that's not too far off from what TRIXIE would do either, because I think TRIXIE began TRIXIE Cosmetics. I remember when she first came out, it was a lot of glitter. Even though she herself doesn't really wear glitter, that's what she had come out with. So I don't really feel like it's that far from what they would be using, and ultimately I'm going to be giving this palette away. I think the browns in here, the brown mattes, are really good. I feel like these pastels are kind of wishy-washy. They're not really to the intensity that I would like, and in fact I think the best thing in this palette is actually the glitters. I actually quite like the glitters. I liked how they stick. This actually made me wonder if I wanted to keep this palette for the glitters. But I decided against it because I'm like, well, I don't wear glitters enough. Actually, this ended up being my 4th of July palette. For 4th of July weekend, I used the, I guess you could say, like the beige brown shades in this palette for my 4th of July looks. And I think it worked out really well, and I felt very confident and pretty. But these pastels over here that we have are not my favorite. I feel like if you see the camera shaking a lot, no, you didn't. I am trying my best. Maybe let's show you over here, a waffle cone. So we have 3 shades over here, and oh, I'm coughing outside. I'm looking at this, and it's just not really shades I would really gravitate towards. Like, they're all right, but they're just not to the level that I usually would have liked. Hopefully you can see everything in the from my angle. It feels like it's a little too dark, but I'm trying my best. I want to swatch. This is a shimmer, and I think that's a shimmer. Wait, is this a shimmer? It's a mixture of like a shimmer with glitter. So this is a glitter, this is a shimmer. I want to do one of these just shimmer shades so you can see. I really like these glitters. I think these glitters are really nice. Oh Lord, what is this lighting? Can y'all see? I still have a little bit of left on my finger, but not too bad. I think the best glitters I've ever had are from like Jolie Beauty. But those are really pretty. I mean, I think it's a decent palette. I personally prefer the shimmers in here a lot more than anything else, ironically. These pastels on my eye just kind of look like watercolor, so I'm going to be passing this palette on to someone else who can hopefully use it. It's an older palette. I don't even think you can find it anymore, but we're moving on. MBA Cosmetics. This MBA Cosmetics palette that I got, which is not really a palette necessarily. I bought this separately after the fact. This is the Garden Party collection from MBA Cosmetics, and I originally had it in this palette from Give Me Glow. I had an extra palettes that I bought some from Give Me Glow, just in case when I buy singles. And like I said, I had an accident where I dropped my pile of eyeshadows. I freaking dropped them, and that's where I can only assume this happened, unless this happened somewhere else. I don't know how that mirror broke, but the only palette I could see that immediately had some sort of damage was my MBA Garden Party collection. I shattered like 3 of the shades, and I had to completely reorder the entirety of the collection just so I could show you guys this collection. It is currently on sale. I don't know how much it was on sale, maybe $10 or $12 or something, I think. And it's just kind of a bit more of a neutral look. We have like this pale pink, we got these beige up here, the browns, and this kind of like, I would say maybe like tree kind of green, like dark tree, fir tree kind of dark green. And you have your matte side and your like shimmery side. And I brought this one out just so I can swatch some shades over here. Like this is one of the ones that have a little bit left. Like it completely had shattered, and that's this shade over here. But I saved it so I could swatch it over here. We're gonna dig in over here. Really went in over there. And I think this is a really nice, kind of simple collection. I'm definitely keeping it. I really like the formula. I like this kind of metallic shine. And then for these mattes, and then we have these mattes. And I just really liked the formula. I like the way it feels. So this is definitely going to be a keep in my collection. Be careful, don't drop it, apparently. But this is just the little palette that you could buy there. Like I said, I like the quality. I don't think the shade range in here is anything too crazy. I mean, the inspiration is Garden Party. So you got like your dirt, your flower, your foliage. Pretty simple. Very easy, yes. This one's a keep. An oldie but a goodie, as they would say. I think I got this palette through like Mercari or something. I was waiting for the longest time for them to bring this palette. From what I remember, is this palette not from like 2019? Like this is an older palette. I was waiting for them to bring it back. They never brought it back. From what I remember, they brought it during Halloween time. This was like their Halloween palette, as you can tell from the colors on the outside. But that does not really mean anything from the inside. This is the Festival palette by Juvia's Place. And I had to try it. I wanted to know what it was like. And I think this is a keep for now palette. It looks exactly the same. Open it up. No mirror. Thank you. There's no mirror in there. And here's our color story. You've probably seen this color story before. I don't feel like the color story is very cohesive, which is what kind of makes me want to give this away, and why I don't really feel like connected to it. At the same time, try to move my camera around. At the same time, I really like this formula. I really like the formula. I like the way that it applies. I think the colors itself are really pretty. I think what throws me off is like this bright pink and this bright blue. Like what? Like I like this formula as well. I think it's really pretty. Let's do the blue. Let's do this yellow. It feels so soft. Let's do this orange over here. So we got 2 of the shimmers, 2 of that. Start swatching over here. Just a really pretty metallic color. On my knuckles, that might not be the best place, but here you go. So here are those shades, and you can see that metallic. Oh, look how pretty the metallics are. I think the matte shades in here, pretty decent. Pretty decent. I feel like this was pretty good lasting in terms for what it was. But I think overall, this one is going to be a keep for now. I can definitely see myself giving this away at some point, because I just don't find this story very cohesive or very, like, Halloween. It's kind of random. It's kind of giving clown. So, keep for now, but eventually I can see this palette being on the chopping block. I hope y'all are, like, doing something on the side, because this video is going to be long. I have so many palettes that I've tried this month, and this one is the Black Cherry by SimplyPosh. I think I got these most likely on sale, as I have been for the past 2 years. I think if it's not on sale, I don't think I've been buying it. This came on sale. It's the first time I've ever tried SimplyPosh. I saw this color story, and I think there was a lot of people that didn't really vibe with it, and I think some people thought it felt kind of repetitive, but I really, really liked it. I think the color story in here is so beautiful. I think there's a lot of these shades that did work. There's a couple that I think would be better to switch out just because they're a little too light on the eye, but overall, as a medium, light medium brown girl, I thought these colors on my skin tone were fucking beautiful. I really, really loved the shimmer formula in here. I loved the light colors on top, darker colors on the bottom. This palette makes sense to me. I feel like you could interchange a lot of the looks. Sometimes you open up a palette and you're like, well, only these colors really go with these colors, and those colors only really go with those colors. But with this palette, it's very much within the same kind of spectrum, so everything just kind of goes together. This is probably the lightest shade in here, but I found that you could see it on my skin tone, so I think it was okay. Let's see, what shades did I think I really loved Burst. I think that was a really pretty color. Look at that. I think, let's try Crush, just so you can see the range of shades, that they're not all the same. Like, this has a more peachy tone to it, this has a more pinky tone to it. And then I want to do a darker one, but not too dark. Let's do Fleshy. Just because I have so many more colors to go. We'll swatch them over here. Holy God, that's so pretty. I really like how this formula is acting. At some point, I'm gonna have to go wash my arm. We got this one over here. I can see how those two kind of look the same though. On the arm, possibly on the eye. I definitely see those being a bit different. And then we got my pinky. Let's do Fleshy again. Let's do Burst again. Just so we can have, and it's obviously very buildable. I didn't have any problem adding more to what I wanted. So pretty. I've brought in hopefully a little bit more light behind me. Hopefully that does something. I don't know, we'll see. But I want to swatch a couple more of these. I want to swatch some shimmers. Let's just do 2, just to keep it going. We'll do Sweet, and then we'll do Luscious. That is so pretty. I really like these shimmers. I think these, this palette was it's just so beautiful. It's so easy to use. I don't remember having, I think, any real difficulties with these shades, other than maybe occasionally it felt like some of the top shades were a little too light, but not like super off. There is like light right there. I hope it's not throwing off the color, but I really, really liked this SimplyPosh palette. I definitely want to buy more. I can't wait for them to go on sale. They did recently have some new stuff come out from what I saw, so I'm excited to be seeing that soon. Alright, y'all don't even know. So many times I also just buy new collections as they come out, and you guys don't see them months, if not years later, okay? Like, because that's just not this channel. I don't care when it came out. I'm doing everything at my own pace. So this collection is one of the newer collections in my collection. This came out December 2025. This was a holiday collection from Profusion that came out that is Harry Potter. And I really do, I'm sorry, I am a Harry Potter millennial. I really do love Harry Potter, but I'm not such a super duper mega fan where if I see Harry Potter, like, I have to have it. But I really liked what they did with this collection and the pieces in it, and that's why I grabbed it. It took me a while to get everything, I think, but I think ultimately I found a lot of this. I was able, Profusion's one of those brands where, like, they can come out with something new, and then just a few weeks later it might go on sale. Like, I think I got a lot of this collection for Black Friday on a sale. And of course, all my receipts will be down below as always. We'll see if that's true or not, if I'm remembering correctly or not. You'll have to remember, this is my July, review. So this came out, I think, in maybe November or October of last year. So it's been several months. It's been at least half a year. So I don't have everything at the top of my head, but they did such a really good job. I've seen several Harry Potter collections. Makeup-wise, I think this is the best one, and I'm really glad that I grabbed it. I think there are a couple more pieces I wish I had, but it is what it is. So let's start first with these brushes. I really like these brushes. You can see there they have the, I guess the coat of arms for each house. I didn't use them, okay, because I decided I wanted to hoard them instead. But, you know, they have the color of the house up top. I think the brushes feel nice. They don't feel super luxurious, but they don't feel like necessarily incredibly cheap. It looks like you can pull this off if you want to. So you can pull that off. You can pull off the coat of arms, or you can put it back on. So I think they're really pretty. Don't feel like particularly like cheap or anything. Like I said, I didn't use them because I want to keep them in a nice condition. At some point, I'm sure I'll use them, but I'm just kind of hoarding on to them right now. I think they're really cute. I think I kind of want to grab, I don't even know if they're still available, probably not. I think the brushes have sold out, but it's an A-OK for the brushes. The House of Champions four-piece face eye brush set. It says foundation brush, powder brush, blending brush, crease brush, and yeah, I like these. These are good. So I'm gonna go on to the next bit. So I'm gonna hopefully remember to insert a picture of what this originally looks like. I cannot find the train. I don't know where the train got put. I had it at my, what's it called? Like on the sink. I had my little train set up with my blending brush and my little finger sponges. Really cute. I think they're fine. I really like the train. It was really cute, and I don't know where I put it. I liked it so much. I actually have an unopened sponge train somewhere. Don't know where I put it, but it's somewhere. But I think these were fine. I've only used one so far. I used this one, and I used it to put concealer and to pat it on underneath my eye. This sponge, I mean, kind of just a sponge. This is Platform 9 3/4. Not bad, not the best. It's alright. It's pretty, you know, I think this is one of the cheaper things maybe that was in this collection. So like, it was alright. So if you see a train, you think it's cute, I think you should grab it. But like I said, hopefully I can remember to put that picture in. Let's move on to the next part. We have still so many pieces to talk over, and I don't want this video to get so long. This is the Yule Ball Blush Lip and Cheek Blurring Pot and Silicone Applicator. And it's got like the Marauders map, the little steps and stuff. Inspired by the enchantment of the Yule Ball. This was a kind of a bit of a surprise, I think. I wasn't expecting to like this as much as I did, or for this to work as much as it did. Little pot. It says Harry Potter. It says Profusion. It's got stars on the top. On the bottom it says Yule Ball Blush. This is the little silicone applicator. I think it's supposed to be like a wand, because I was a bit confused why this was even needed. But it does grab a good amount. I'm just going to do that much. You do not need a lot. And I feel like I felt pretty comfortable on the lips. I think it was pretty on the cheeks as well. I'm going to be honest, I don't know how this would work on someone who's maybe a little bit darker, but for my skin tone, I think it worked out fine. I didn't use this silicone applicator too much. I kind of just used it to grab the product and then use something else to blend it out. But you can see there, it's just this kind of, I don't know, what you call it, like a peachy pink kind of situation. But maybe I'm using this wand wrong. I liked it. I think it's cute. I'm happy with this. I'm going to keep it. Moving on to the next. I think I started off with just 2 of these, and then I was like, I'm a fool. I should have just grabbed all 4. And by the time I wanted to grab all 4, the Gryffindor, what are these? Lip oil set? The Gryffindor lip oil set had sold out. So I was only able to get the first 3, everything but the Gryffindor one. And I ended up finding the Gryffindor one, I think, at Walmart. I had to find this collection at Walmart and see what pieces I could buy. I think that's where I also got my additional train. And I thought they would all be created equal, but surprise, they are not. And I actually have them in lip set of best to worst, in my opinion. So for me, the worst one was the Hufflepuff. The Hufflepuff Profusion 2-piece lip oil set. And these are meant to kind of be like, I think as like stocking stuffers. That is so freaking cute. He says to and from, or something to hang off the tree. I don't know what people's like traditions are for their Christmas, but this is the Hufflepuff one to smooth it on, keep it fresh, let your loyalty shine. To me, this one was the worst one because the consistency of this one feels completely different to me versus the other three. This lip oil felt more like a oil, like actual oil on your lips versus a gloss, and I didn't really like that. And they each have their kind of sheer color, and then they'll have a shimmery companion. So this is the Hufflepuff Shimmery Companion. It's kind of this light gold champagne color, and they're not really going to have a lot of color to these, obviously. I'll swatch the shimmery ones anyway, so you can see the shimmer. And I think the shimmery one was like, it was alright. It was nothing too crazy. I was like, okay, but this one was at the bottom for me because of this shade. The fact that the consistency felt very different to the other ones. So for me, that's in last place. In third place, if you realized the order, is Gryffindor, the Gryffindor one. And this one has, I mean, it's all pretty much the same, infused with jojoba oil, vitamin E, paraben-free, vegan and cruelty-free, hydrating, nourishing, high shine finish, non-sticky, lightweight. And the same kind of thing, the cute little sock. I'll show off all the little socks, they're so cute. And we're gonna open this one as well. And let's see, this one I think was third, mostly because of the shimmer. I think it was just my preference of the shimmer. I think this one was alright, but I just like the other two more. So this one didn't really have any issues with it. I just didn't really care for this kind of, I don't really like red glosses. It's not really a red gloss. It's definitely still very light, not much color, okay? But if you look at it, it's kind of like a coppery red, I think. And like, it's alright, but it's not my favorite out of the four. So that's why it's in third place. We also have the emblem on the gloss, really cute. And this one's just in third place for that. That's kind of the only reason. And then we'll move on to the next. And I didn't want to give, I really thought, I'm like, am I really about to give Slytherin first place? But Slytherin got second place. I really do love greens. I think greens are really pretty. I really liked, I think if you can see, the green one kind of has like the least amount in the clear gloss. I think I used this one quite a bit. I really liked the clear gloss on this. Felt very comfy, but I really liked this as my second because I do like the green. I mean, and like I'll show you with this one. It's completely see-through. It has color just for the sake of like the color, but it is completely just, it's see-through. It's clear. It's just a clear gloss. And I really liked how it felt on the lips. But what I really liked about this one was, and it's kind of the same for the Ravenclaw one, this has a kind of like pearlescent, like a pearlescent lip oil. It's so pretty. And it's like a champagne-y pink with a blue shift kind of color. I think it's so pretty. I don't even know if it'll read. But that's why this one's in my second. I think it's so pretty, which I'm surprised it's blue and not green. It has like a blue shift, not a green shift. But I think that is just so pretty. And that's why this one is on my second, surprisingly. And then, of course, if you can deduce, I'm surprised because us Ravenclaws, I am a Ravenclaw, rarely get anything good. It always goes to the Gryffindor, and then because of the films, there's a lot of stuff with Hufflepuff, because they're like, we don't want to forget the Hufflepuffs. And then, of course, there's a lot of people, oh lord, I put this in wrong. There's a lot of people who are also Ravenclaws because they like, you know, they are Ravenclaws, but there's also just people who are fans of the film and kind of have assigned themselves as a Slytherin, either because they have like a crush on Tom Felton, or because they kind of like this darker side of Harry Potter universe. And I feel like us Ravenclaws are always, at this point, forgotten about. At this point, Ravenclaw has felt like the original, like, I remember reading the books, and as a child, and be like, oh, Hufflepuff feels like it always gets forgotten about and kind of joked about. And then the author, who will not be named, the author kind of made it obviously in the fourth book and on, like, no, don't forget about the Hufflepuffs. But, and then, was it the seventh book? When Helena Ravenclaw helps Harry find kind of like one of the last pieces of the Horcruxes, it feels like such an afterthought, but I'm happy to say that I feel like the Ravenclaw lip set is the best lip set. I think the colors are really pretty. Let your brilliance shine for a sleek finish. I like the blue gloss. I mean, they're all clear, right? The blue gloss is a blue gloss, but I really liked this shimmer the best. It has a kind of like the 90s blue kind of metallic, but it also has like a light pink kind of shift in it. I think it is so pretty. I think this one stands out the most out of all of them, and I'm going to place it here. So this is the Slytherin one, and then this is the Ravenclaw one, and I wonder how much of a shift we're really going to get. And I feel like you can kind of see the sparkle there. And it kind of looks more sparklier than the Slytherin one. I wonder if I can bring a light closer. A little bit, kind of closer, not really. Like, it's alright. But that one's my favorite out of all of them. I'm not trying to play favorites. If I was, I don't think I would have put Slytherin at number 2. Completely went just on the way it felt to my lips. The color that it gave, I really liked how pretty this blue shimmery kind of metallic-y kind of lip oil went. I think it's really pretty. So that's the reason I gave the Ravenclaw lip set the number 1. This is my last piece. This is the actual Harry Potter Profusion palette. It's a 16 shade palette. They call it the Christmas at Hogwarts palette. God, where do we start with this? There was another, I think there was another palette or two that were smaller, but I was just not as interested. You can see they have a little sticker up here. There's a sticker that you can take off if you want of the color story, which is great because Profusion ends up at places like Walmart. It is a more affordable brand. And when we open it, it is Hogwarts. Hogwarts is there. It says Harry Potter. Very cute. Let's see if we can move the camera up a little. Like, they don't really do stuff like this anymore, but this is really cute. It says Press for Hogwarts Magic. And then the lights come on! The lights come on! There's little lights in there, and the lights come on. That is just so cute. Oh. Yeah, that's really sweet. So if you keep pulling that up, though, there is a mirror on the other side. And it has this string here to hold it so it doesn't completely flip back. Let's see if I can hide it with something. Let's see if I can hold this. We'll see how long I can hold that for. But move this again. These are the shades. We have shades like Hedwig, Golden Stitch, Snitch, Yule Ball, Herbology, just very Harry Potter terminology, and this is almost like the perfect color story, and I freaking know, it's so freaking in your face in terms of like, well, you should know what colors are for each house, and it's completely fucking overdone, and it's the easiest fucking thing to do, but if they would have done it, I would have been fucking happy. Because I don't understand. Like, I really would have liked 4 shades for each house. I feel like that makes sense to me, and I would have liked that to have a good formula. But for some fucking reason, again, like I said, usually Ravenclaw gets screwed over. Ravenclaw got fucking screwed over in the palette. Why the fuck are there 3 dark blues for Ravenclaw? And in the middle of that, y'all motherfuckers are gonna put a fucking red in between all the fucking blues? What the hell am I supposed to do with 3 dark blues? Are you freaking serious? Like, what? And then I feel like they could have done Hufflepuff better as well, because how did they give Hufflepuff, like, they gave them this kind of like champagne-y light gold, a beige, a yellow, and a brown. Hufflepuff colors are yellow and black. Girl, what? And then we have Gryffindor, which I think Gryffindor is fine. I think the Ravenclaw colors are fine, I think. But what the fuck is, like, they've really screwed over Ravenclaw. Ravenclaw colors are blue and bronze. You're telling me you can throw in some fucking bronze in there? Also, Slytherin colors are green and silver. You're telling me you can fucking throw over a silver over to the Slytherin side? I'm sorry. I'm getting a little crust happy, but like, seriously, like, this could have been such a simple fucking thing, and I feel like they fucked it up. Like, I still like the color story, I did like the formula, but I'm like, y'all, we could have done this really, really well, and they decided not to. Like, what is that about? So, I've gone and washed my hands. I'm gonna swatch these. So we have that one. We'll swatch this one over here, and then let's swatch, let's see, let's do a brown, and then we'll do a green. And I think, from what I remember, now that I'm remembering, I will say the best shades in here are, again, actually, the Ravenclaw and Slytherin side, because they're more colorful. I don't feel like the kind of neutral shades they have in here were really like the best. I think the Ravenclaw side and the Slytherin side kind of take the trophy on that again. But let's swatch. So there's this shade, which matches very much kind of like the shade that they used on the Slytherin side for the lip oil, the shiny lip oil. And then we have this gold. And then we'll do this brown. And this green. I love a minty green. I do like that they added a minty green for Slytherin. I like that's a little bit different. It's pretty. Maybe let's do one more. I feel like that's not very colorful. Maybe let's do a little bit of the Ravenclaw. Let's do a little bit of her. Let's see how dark that is. That is so pigmented. This is why I don't like to swatch the darker shades, because then they definitely are going to stain. But look how bright that blue is. I think they could have done better with this, but as a Harry Potter fan, I don't hate it so much that I'm going to give any of these Harry Potter pieces away. I really did enjoy it overall. I wish they could have done better for us fans, but it's a keep so far, and then moving on to the next. Alright, we gotta keep moving on. I think I need to try and move a little bit faster. I still have 4 more palettes to try and fucking review in this whole one video. It's gonna be like an hour-long video. But we have Down to Earth, SimplyPosh, another palette that came along with my cherry one. We got that information back there, but I bought this one at the same time I got my cherry one, because like I said, they were on sale. And I thought out of the two, I would dislike this one the most, I thought, because while I love what's going on over here, I didn't know how much I would like this over here. But y'all, this is such a pretty fucking palette. I love the greens in this, and I also really love a brown with a like reflective silver. Like, I think that is just so pretty. I like these shades, like this orange, but there's a reflective blue. Like, I think that's really cool. Now granted, there are shades in here like Nature and Calming that are way too light for my skin tone, that end up kind of looking like baby powder. It's not very pretty. Oh my god, I love that brown. Got this shade. That is just so pretty. And then we have this, something like this. I'm like, this is too light. I don't know if I could, I don't remember being able to really build those colors up. They're just, that's way, oh my god, I still have product on my fingers. Those are way too light for me. Some of these shades up top. So I would have liked that they would have gone maybe a little bit darker, or had used, at least on this side, on this orange side, like these shades up top and done even darker shades at the bottom, or brighter shades at the bottom. Let me swatch. Like, do you see these are a lot more pigmented. And I'll do Sage. Like, I feel like the green definitely took the cake in this palette. Look how pretty that is. That's a lot more, you see that a lot more. Yeah, that's really pretty. So obviously, this is gonna be a keep. This is really freaking pretty. Like, the shimmers in here, I think I meant like the shimmers in here almost more than I did in the cherry palette, honestly. Like, I love this kind of like silvery reflect. I think it's so gorgeous. It feels like just so pretty, so classy. I really liked this formula. Let's do it over here. I just love how shiny it is. It's just so intense, and I love, see that one's a duochrome. I love the sparkle. I'm a sparkle queen. I love the shimmeries. But yep, this is a keep as well. So pretty. I'm trying to clean off my fingers. So much sparkle on my fingers. Look how, especially that brown. It's just so pretty, so shimmery. This one's a keep. Keeping this one. Moving on. MBA Cosmetics Coastal Cruise. And I bought this at the same time I bought the All Shimmer palette that I reviewed last month. And I bought them at the same time because for some reason in my brain, I was like, this looked like a very romantic coastal palette. Like I said, it's called Coastal Cruise. Y'all, this summer has been the summer of coastal. Okay, I have bought in so many little lobster things. I love the lobster shape symbol. It's just kind of like my thing. You know how our mom, when we grow up with our moms, they probably had like lots of fruits or wines, or coffee was like their theme in like the kitchen or the bathroom or something, you know, the coastal theme in the bathroom. I'm becoming my mother. I love the coastal theme that really exploded this summer, and I love the lobsters in it. And when I saw this color story, I was like, this is gonna go so well with the theme of this summer, because it's super coastal. There's something about this that absolutely gives me like like new, I don't know, I'm from the West Coast. I've only ever explored the West Coast. I've never even, I don't think I've gone past El Paso, Texas, okay? True Western girl. I've never gone any further than that. So this is my views as a Westerner. This to me feels coastal. When I think of this coastal stuff that happened recently, I'm thinking of like New England, because there were so many shirts that came out that said like New Englander, Maine, Connecticut, like like it was just like shirts like that, shirts with boats, shirts with like I said, the lobsters, with crabs, with buoys on it. And this is stuff you're seeing at TJ Maxx, at Marshall's, at Target, at Walmart even. I've got a couple lobster things at Walmart, and that's what I thought when I saw the story. It just feels very like elegant, very kind of like this sounds so stupid, like what I think of like New England wealth, like. And I saw this, I'm like, yes, like totally, yes, I'm gonna work it. It's like wealth talks softly bullshit. And honestly, I think the mattes in here are good. I just don't think it's for me. I think I tricked myself into thinking that this would be a palette I would want to wear. But then after actually wearing it, I'm like, I can't do it. I have to have a little bit of shimmer. And there's no shimmer in this. And I know I could like take these out or like just grab shimmer somewhere else and keep it. But I just don't think that the formula of these mattes are some of Nomad's best. I think it's all right. But I think at the end of it all, I'm pretty much ready to pass this on already. I did a first pass of it, and I still didn't know how I felt. I felt like I wanted to get rid of it, but I always want to make sure I want to get rid of something. So I kept using it for another 2 days, for another 2 looks, and I still thought to myself, no, I think I can part with this. So let's do a couple swatches just so we can get that out there. We have, and like some of these are just way too light. And as much as I love a mint, I love the mint, it just still, I don't feel like it was very long lasting from what I remember. So these are like 3 of the lightest shades, and then let's do like this mid-tone brown. I do like the setup, I do like that it makes sense. I just don't think it makes sense for like my skin tone. Like, it is pretty. It is, I think, too light, too pastel-y in a way. I do think those are really pretty, but I think it's more like color for someone who maybe doesn't use color too often. And I am a bright ass bee. I love bright colors. I like bright shimmers, very loud, in your face. And this really is just a little too soft spoken for me. So for that reason, I'm going to be passing this one on. Stretch. This is Flying Fiddles by Adept Cosmetics, and this is again one of those palettes I bought. I believe I bought this one at full price when it came out, y'all, when it came out. And at this point, this palette came out almost like more than 2 years ago, I think, because I bought this palette when I was in Oregon. That's how fucking long ago I bought this palette. So long ago. And at this point, I was looking at the Adept website yesterday because I was trying to see if they had anything on sale. This palette's not even on the website anymore. It's not there. So I'm like, shit, I'm so behind. I still have the plastic on this, and there's not a lot of information on it. Like, I'm trying to see what it says. When trying a new product and discontinue use if irritation occurs. I guess is what the back says. There's like some print in there that you can barely see. But I still have this on it. We're going to take this off now. I kept it on it because I wanted to take it off during the video. That's how long I've kept it on here for. And is it completely, like, this is actual lace. Like, this lace has been like put over this fabric. Like, this is actual fabric. Actual, like, lacy fabric on this. Flying Fiddles. Don't know why it's called that. There's a mirror in here. We're gonna try and cover it up with this. And here is our color story. And I don't know, I think the greens and the browns are what really called me to this. I really like greens. I think greens are really pretty. But out of all the Adept palettes, I think I've tried 2 or 3 other Adept products before this one. I feel like this is the weakest link that I own so far. Like, I feel like the shimmers in this didn't perform as well as the other shimmers that I tried before. I think the best Adept palette that I have is that, what is it, like the Archer, like the green Archer palette or something. I don't remember what it was called. Something like that. It was like the green palette. I feel like that one's the best one I have so far. This one was just like all right. I just don't feel like this one had the crazy intensity as the other ones. I do think the mattes in here are really wonderful though. I think the mattes in here are really nice. I was a little let down by the shimmers though. These are some intense mattes. Let's start over here. Really love this kind of purpley Scorpio kind of color. I feel like those just worked so well. And then in terms of shimmer, oh, I didn't even realize the shade was called Daffodil. Let's do Daffodil. Are these all named after flowers? Do Blue Crown. And then we'll swatch Scorpion Glass, because as you can see, this is one of the shades that has like this really cool mixture of colors. So we have our 3 shimmers right there. That's the Scorpion Glass. You can still see the breakout of colors. I feel like that color, a shade of that color we've seen before in other ones. And then there's this like kind of yellowy green shade. And like, overall, I think this palette was alright. Adept is really expensive, so I'll be keeping this and trying this a lot more. If I remember correctly, the shades are magnetic, so I think I can move stuff around. But yeah, I think, like I said, this feels like the weakest link out of all my Adept palettes. Keeping it for now. But do y'all remember this? I think it's alright. There's definitely other Adept palettes I now have my eye on that have a lot more green. But I think out of all, this row was like the worst. I liked this shade, but like the Viola Bronze and the Honey Spurge, I feel like were really weak shades. Didn't really do much. I think this palette, this side of the palette, is a little bit stronger. If I'm remembering right now, this purple with the green shimmer on top is a fucking banger. I love a purple and a green together. Really freaking pretty. So, yep, I'm gonna keep this one. This is another one we're keeping. And we're gonna move on to the last section, finally. This is my last palette of July. This is SingeBeauty Paisley Hoot. This is, what's her name? She's a YouTuber. I don't remember her name. Angelica? This is her brand. And this is supposed to be kind of like a 70s inspired palette. And I liked the color story because it had some greens and I was interested to see what that would look like. And what is my verdict? This is the palette I used the most recently. I think that people, if you remember, when this palette came out, there was some controversy. She came up with some lip liners that were way too fucking light. Way too light for the majority of people. It was kind of, those lip liners were kind of only for one type of person, and that type of person is probably someone who was very much more paler and fairer. And there was, you know, a really, from what I remember, quite a big uproar about these shades she had decided to come out with. And to be honest, as much as I did enjoy using this palette, I find some of the colors in her palette to be the same as her lip liners, in the sense that some of these shades, once applied, felt a little too light for my skin tone, and they weren't as pigmented as I thought they would be. Mainly these two down here, Bell Bottom and Platform, these shades ended up disappearing on my eyes. Like, it's kind of almost like a gray base. Like, do you see this is supposed to be kind of like this lighter green, lighter mossy green, and on me it's reading as like a gray kind of sage. Just on the eye, kind of ended up disappearing. Usually when colors like oxidate, they turn a different color, but they usually turn darker. In this case, it felt like when it oxidated, it turned lighter. I also have other shades like over here, maybe this velvet one, which I love yellow, but I felt like these kind of ended up disappearing a bit. Oh, I love a yellow like that. I love a yellow like that. I wish it would stay a little longer. I don't remember these mattes particularly lasting very long. I think that's the part that bothers me. And I think that the shimmers in here, the shimmers in here creased so much. I was not expecting to lose my color for these shimmers so fast. Like, they're very, let's do this one. I think I was the most let down. I went by quads. So I did this quad, that quad, this quad, this quad. This quad was the most disappointing. I just don't feel like the color lasted very long. Like, they're too, I guess, almost pale. Like, I understand the color she was going for, but on my skin tone, I'm just not fair enough, I think, to fully really get to appreciate these colors. Like, I like the metallic kind of stuff, but I think within 2 hours, these shimmers creased. And the colors oxidated to like a lighter color and you couldn't even really see what I had done. So this palette ultimately is a lot more, I guess, neutral. It's not as colorful as you may think it is. And if you're into that, maybe you'll really like this palette. But I was kind of expecting a little bit more brightness and color, and for it to last a little longer. I really enjoyed her, what was that palette called? There was like a green palette that she had come out with. It had green and oranges in it, and I think that palette was beautiful. And I was kind of expecting something similar. I was hoping for something similar, but I didn't really get that. I think either way, I'm going to keep this palette a little longer. I'd like to play with it a little bit more. But the other thing that I got when I bought this palette is I bought myself another blush. This is Timid Tomato. This is the Creative Silken Blush from SingeBeauty. And I have 2 of these already. I decided to buy myself a third. And one of the things that I said in my other review was that it felt, for some reason, the 2 shades that I got were so overly powdery. I don't know why, even touching it, just it became so loose. I'm not finding that issue with this Timid Tomato. Like, I've been using a brush, and it's like, do you see? There's no fallout. There's no, like, powder left over on this one versus the other one. There was so much just powder that would bloom everywhere immediately. So I'm gonna go up here, and I think this is a really pretty color. It is not like a traditionally super bright red. It is a very kind of muted red, and I think that's really, really pretty, and I think that's a lot more wearable color for everyone. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how this color's gonna look on someone who's a lot deeper. I think it should work, but the nice thing about this is that I think this, in, you know, moderation, can also look really well on someone who's a lot paler, fairer, you know, lighter skinned. So I really liked, I think out of the 2 things, like this one really, the blush really surprised me the most, I think, in terms of really liking it. This one, we're gonna keep this one in my collection for a little longer. Alright, y'all. Thanks so much if you've hung on to the entirety of the ride. This is everything I have tried for the month of July. What was the palette that stood out the most to you? That's what I would like to know. I always try my best. What I've been doing is trying to, all the colors that I think go with that month, that's where I put them in. Do y'all see July in this little collection that I've done for the month of July? I'd love to get some feedback down below. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a great day.